Alright, so this is some notes on another part of logic, conditionals and deduction. This is like the logic that, Sherlock Holmes uses to solve the case. This is what logic you can use to actually win arguments against, well, it only works against logical people. Crazy people who are okay with alternative truths, logic doesn't actually work on. So that's a sad statement on society right there. But we're going to look at the positive and assume people can use logic and deduction and conditionals. So we already learned about negation, and we already learned about and we learned about or. And then we did De Morgan's Law where you kind of distribute it and stuff like that. But a new thing, and probably the most important thing, is a conditional statement in logic. Okay, a conditional statement. A conditional statement, usually we just shorten it to conditional, or sometimes we call it an if-then statement. It's in the form of if P then Q, where P and Q are statements themselves. So it's really the combining of two statements. So hold on, I'll write this down. Okay, so I paused it so you didn't have to just watch me writing. So a conditional statement is if P then Q, where P and Q are statements themselves. Oh, there's a cat here. P is the hypothesis and Q is the conclusion. We write it this way. Sometimes you can say that two ways. You can say that if P then Q, or you can also say it as P implies Q. Okay, so what's cool about a conditional statement is we use them all the time. Like, if it's raining outside, I will bring an umbrella. Or, if you slap me in the face, I will cry. Like, there's an if and a then, a hypothesis and a conclusion, right? If I fail this logic test, then the rest of my life is ruined, so I'm going to study harder. Okay? So this is what's crazy about a conditional statement, and most people get the original thing. You'd say a conditional statement is only false. So P implies Q is only false if P is true and Q is false. It's true otherwise. The only way it can be false is if P is true and Q is false. So think about this. Okay, so let's do it with the raining and bringing an umbrella. If my contract, or I always want you to think of a conditional statement like a contract. Okay. I always like to think of it like a contract. Okay. So if we said, if it is raining out, then I will bring an umbrella. Right? This is a statement P, here's P, right? Your hypothesis. It is raining outside. It can be true or false, right? I will bring an umbrella is your Q, because that's a true or false statement. Okay? So if you turn it into an if-then, it would be symbolized like this. P implies Q, or if P then Q. Think about the different situations we can have here. We could have, actually, let's do a truth table. I love truth tables, right? There's only 4 ways this can go down. Okay? You can have P true and Q true. You can have P true and Q false. Oh, I got it right. It's hard to write a different letter than you're saying. I could have P false and Q true, and P false and Q false. So that's the only ways you can do it. Oh my gosh, there's a cat here. Ah. Hold on, cat. All right, let me pause this and move the cat. Oh, All right. So let's look at this situation and think of it as a contract. Basically, if I say if it is raining outside, then I will bring an umbrella. I'm making like a guarantee. This is my word, and my word is bond. Okay? So think about it. Let's imagine that the first part was true. It is raining outside. And the second part is true. I brought an umbrella. How's the contract doing? Contract is true. My if-then statement is true. You wouldn't call me a liar, right? Basically, that's what breaks it. Think of this as, am I a liar or not? Is my statement true or not? If it's raining outside, I'll bring an umbrella. Okay, look at the second row. Let's assume it's raining outside and Q is false, that I did not bring an umbrella. So it's raining outside and you see me without an umbrella, you're like, you are a dirty liar. You said if it's raining outside, I'll bring an umbrella. So if I'm a liar, I broke the contract and it's false. Okay. Those two make sense to people, usually. I would imagine. You're like, okay, true and true, makes sense that you kept your contract. The other part, the first part's true and the second part's false, you just broke your contract. What's weird for people is this one right here. Actually, both of these. Both of these are weird for people because, I don't know, it's weird when you think the back part's true. Or the back part's false. So let's say, okay, now it's not raining outside, but you see me walking around with an umbrella. Anyway, is my contract, am I a liar or not? Well, the problem is, if the first part of the contract isn't even set up, then it does not matter what I do on the back end. If it's not raining outside, you can't call me a liar, because my statement was based on the condition that it's raining outside. So if you see me when it's not raining outside, that's right here, and I do have an umbrella, well, you can be like, you're not a liar because you didn't break this moral code you set up. I don't know why I set up a moral code about rain, but apparently I did. And this one's even weirder. If it's not raining outside and I don't have an umbrella, you're like, all right, I guess you're still a truthful person because, once again, your umbrella bringing was based off of whether or not it was raining outside. So these two cases will always be true if the first part of an if-then statement is false, because if you don't have the if part of a contract, you don't ever have to follow through. It doesn't matter if the back end's true or false. The contract was never started. So you can think of it like that. That's why I like to think of it like a contract. These two are actually called vacuously true because they're true by default. Because there's no contract to be broken. If the first part is not started, then they don't have to follow through with the contract. Okay, the contract cannot be broken. All right, so that's kind of just the idea of it, and then we'll get into some other weirder stuff. But let's try it again with this if-then statement. Okay, so I can see through that. Okay, so let's think of this. What if I said P was you get a perfect score in the final? Okay, and Q is you earn an A for the year. Okay, so if I did this, it would change into if you get a perfect score in the final, then you earn an A for the year. If I wrote it. So once again, I just want you to think about this contract thing, okay? If the first part's true and the second part's true, think about this. What happens if you do get a perfect score in the final and you do get an A for the year? You would say, hey, contract was true. It was upheld. What if you got a perfect score in the final, but you did not get an A for the year, you would come at me with pitchforks. You'd be like, you lied to me. I have it in writing. I'm getting my lawyer. Okay, so the contract is broken. The if-then statement must have been false if that didn't follow through. Okay, those two make sense. The others should make sense why they're vacuously true, because what if you did not get a perfect score on the final and you did get an A for the year? How's my statement looking? If you get a perfect score in the final, you get an A for the year? That's still true, because the contract was never started. Okay, so you can't call me a liar for that statement. You didn't even get a perfect score. So don't come whining to me when you don't get, in this situation, you didn't get an A for the year, but you didn't even score perfect on the final. So these two are those vacuously true ones again. Okay. Anyway, so I'll come back with the other thing, but that is, first of all, truth tables. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can be like, what's the truth value of not P implies Q? And it would be like, if you do not get a perfect score on the final, then you get an A for the year. And that would be weird, but you could do all sorts of different things with truth tables. All right, so I'm going to cut this one short, come back in a different one, and talk about the other thing. Okay.